back in Uruguay, South America. So I say to you about recycling, if we can do this and it takes 8 years, maybe you can inspire your friends to take the bottle or can, move 1 or 2 inches, and put it in the recycling bin. If we can do this, we can do more in the real world. And I'm very proud of that. And then the penguins popped out of the sea here and said, hey, our beach is clear. And they all came ashore. It was great. But on this day, I made a decision that we'd done the rubbish clearance, we'd done that, and now we needed to do something new. And as you all know, it's really important that we work towards using more clean, renewable energy. Wind power, solar power, wave power, all those important clean energy makers. So I became now a clean energy champion. I thought, why not? And our dream was maybe one day we could have in Antarctica a little building called the E-Base, the first building in Antarctica running only off wind and solar power. Clean, renewable energy in Antarctica and connected to the internet for people like you and teachers to understand why Antarctica is important to save, and just as importantly, see how clean, renewable energy works in Antarctica. And we've got a fantastic old battleship yacht. Her name's 2041, and I'm proud to tell you, for the first time, you're here to witness a little bit of history, that the yacht is coming here to Hong Kong in the second part of next year. So you must come down and see our brave battleship. Her name is 2041. So we've done the global mission. We now hear the world leaders are getting together again 10 years on from when they met here in Rio de Janeiro, and we must go and see them. So we take the yacht back. We find a fantastic young people's organization in South Africa, and we put our yacht onto a giant trailer, and we make the longest overland voyage ever made in history. We took our yacht. She's 67 foot long. She weighs 52 tons. We took around all of southern Africa to visit children just like you, but not really like you, because they'd never seen the sea. They'd never seen a TV. They'd never seen a boat. They'd never had an iPod. Not even a telephone. Nothing. And they came out, these kids, to see us. It was fantastic. And we arrived at the Second World Summit to see all those world leaders who were still asleep. And they all came to see us. And we put the yacht back in the water. And after many, many thousand nautical miles, she's on her way to see you here next year in Hong Kong. So every year we go to Antarctica. We take teachers. We take young people from all over the world. And I'm really proud that today, and might be one of you sitting here, I wonder, will be coming with me, thanks to Civic Exchange and CLP Holdings, will be coming with me to Antarctica. Think of that. One of you in this room. And we get together, teams from all over the world, young people, businesswomen, businessmen, and we go to Antarctica. But I have a big focus on 2 very important countries, India and China. And I take lots of students, lots of young people down to Antarctica so they can come back and do more on the environment in these important countries. We go on a big ship and we go to Antarctica across the stormy seas, and we go and see where Antarctica is actually melting. Huge areas of ice breaking up. It's happening. Global warming and climate change aren't just words. And we can see those things happen first in places where there's ice. I put a piece of ice on this table here. At 0 degrees, it stays there forever. Plus half a degree, it melts. So the North and South Poles are speaking to us. We should listen. And we watch huge pieces of ice float by. Sophie was with us last year. I've taken quite a few people from Hong Kong. I know that Priscilla is here from CLP Holdings. She came down. I'll tell you what she did in a minute. Fantastic. And we go to Antarctica and visit that education station. We built it. And every year, now with the help of CLP and engineers like Priscilla, she's here, I hope you can meet her later, we go down and we test out renewable technologies. And this is my home in Antarctica. Hot water, light, heat, all these wonderful things working in Antarctica, not from fossil fuels, but only from wind and solar. And as I speak, the yacht is on her way to see you all. First, we've been round the United States, round Europe. The yacht is just arriving tomorrow the day after tomorrow, in the United Arab Emirates, and I will be going to welcome her here in a place called Abu Dhabi. And then we're going to go to India, and then we're coming round to Hong Kong, China, and then we're off to the Third World Summit. Well, actually, we might go this way, but that's another plan. And we show how renewable technologies work. We have the first ever solar panel sail on a yacht, and it works. We went to the Copenhagen Summit. Fantastic. And do you know something? That hole in the ozone is fixing itself. Why? Because governments got together and they did something. And finally, a bit more walking. Our world, it's all about energy. And great companies like CLP, who provide us with all this energy and light and power, they're starting to think about how much more renewable energy they can use. So what we're doing is we're going back to the South Pole. Lots of years ago, we walked this way from Cape Evans to the South Pole, but this time we're going to start at the South Pole and go all the way back. But this time we will have no fossil fuels for our survival. And what's really fun is that with a solar panel this size, you can all have a laugh. And you can say, well, Mr. Swan looked pretty odd when we saw him in Hong Kong, but you should see how awful he looks this time, because this is really going to be tough. Fossil fuels were great to warm our tent, to survive with. This time we're only going to use renewable technologies to survive. So remember, in 2012, get on that website, 2041.com, and see how we're going. It's going to be pretty cold and pretty tough. I want to finish by saying this. It's not somebody else's problem in life, the environment and looking after it. It's our problem. And I ask you to go away and do something. Any really young people here, what I want you to do is to get your parents and yourself to put together a carbon footprint of you and your family. To change anything, you've got to know how much energy and how much impact you're having. So everybody here, get a carbon footprint. You all sit on computers. Some of you are already on them as I'm speaking, so you're ready. So all I ask you to do is to move your finger 1 inch, press a button, and there are millions of websites that you can help you work out your carbon footprint. I ask you to think about saving energy. You know, if the whole world lived like you live here in Hong Kong, do you know how many planets it would take to run? 5 planets. So we need to save energy. Maybe, if you can, get some renewable energy at home. 1 smaller solar panel on your roof. Think about it. Try and live with a bit less. Do we need all these things we've got? The answer is no. Recycle, as we saw in that wonderful video. But most importantly, be positive, have a good life. And finally, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Christine Lowe and her wonderful team of organizers at Civic Exchange. So I'd like to thank them from my heart for bringing me here to tell you this story. And I wish that finalist, I wonder where they are. Don't worry, you'll come to Antarctica, whoever it is, with me, and I promise to send you home safe and sound. Thank you very much, everybody. Good luck.
Thank you so much, Robert.